This video does not promote or condone illegal dog fighting. This video is solely for historical and entertainment purposes only. Hello everybody, welcome to the Hellcat Dogman Reloaded page. Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to do a story on Meansville Champion Holly, who was a littermate to Champion Jeep, Champion Charlie, and they also had a sister named Champion Missy. They had a littermate brother also named Reno, who was basically used for stud. Depending on who you ask, they say Holly was one of the best ones out the litter. But then some people even said Charlie was. But if you go to my interview with Mr. Bob Finley, the owner of Champion Bo, he brought up another dog that he said him and James had ruined, that he might have thought that was the best out of that whole litter. So if you check that interview and get some information on that, you'll see what I'm talking about. One of the best bitches of all time and probably the best at her weight was R.E. Meansville Holly. She was a littermate to two other illustrious champions. Well, that's not two because they have Missy also. So it's actually three. But this reading says two. Champion Jeep, Champion Charlie. Her first contest was in July of 1979 against Hewitt's Ruby. And in about 25 minutes, it was all over. What was unusual about the contest was not that it was over so fast, but Holly came in at 35 pounds, some 2.5 pounds below her best weight. In January of 1980, she went out again. This time it was against Lee's Hooch. This time it went 36 minutes with the same results. In December of 1981, she went out at a big show featured the Head versus Happy Jack contest, where Head was demolished by Happy Jack. It also featured a visit by the authorities, and all the dogs found themselves impounded at the veterinarian hospital. Well, the dogs were broken out, and Holly found her way to Virginia to the yard of Max. Max never said he broke her out, but he certainly was the recipient. Sometime later, Max realized he had a true devastator on his hands, so he planned to settle a few scores. I can remember sitting in a Howard Johnson's in the upper Piedmont section of North Carolina at 3 in the morning with Max and Dwight P. Max had a little bad blood with Atlas B and figured that he would slip Holly in for a quick victory. There was also talk about him slipping in on Lewis B and a few others that Max wanted to best real bad. And to be truthful, I do believe that Holly went out at least once or twice on Max's yard, although not into the gentleman mentioned. However, the best contest was the one that did not come off. I was down at Max one night and the phone rang. It was Jay Johnson, the owner of Miss Rage. And as a side note, that's Johnson's grand champion, Miss Rage, that he's referring to in the story. Okay, back on track. Rage had gone out 3 times within 4 months and devastated all comers. She had gone out twice at 38.5 pounds and once at 38 pounds. Well, Max tried his best to make it work out a deal between Rage and Holly, and Max was even to go at 38 pounds with Holly. This was a weight that Rage had gone out at before. But guess what? Johnson would not make the deal. He would not come out with his devastator against Holly. It would have been a classic deal, something like Ali Frazier, or better yet, if Marciano could have taken on Tyson. But I just figured that Johnson wimped out on it. Before you, the reader, decide that I'm such an awful person for mentioning this, let me say two things. One, I was there and heard the conversation firsthand. Two, I was at a little deal a few years after that, which made me think that Mr. Johnson needed a little humbling. He was going into a young boy who was going out for maybe his first time. Johnson was using a daughter of Miss Rage and was making the boy's dog look bad. Well, that's part of the game. What I didn't like was that Johnson then began to goat the boy in the pit like it was some kind of reflection of him. So anyway, this story is a little humbling, and maybe it was good that it never came off. 2 dogs might have been lost that night. Of course, the next question is, what did Holly produce? Well, things began to get murky. Max sold out. The dogs fell into the possession of David S. He moved to Western Virginia, and Holly did produce a litter of pups. Mysteriously, the pups died, were stolen, were who knows what, and Holly supposedly died, although no one ever saw the body. You think it is strange? Well, men have been known to kill for such a dog. It's your boy Hellcat, and another one. I'm out, and I'll see you on the next one.